Hey Nikki, thank you for joining me. So today I'm very happy to share your story since you joined the Bonsai Bootcamp, and I'm really curious what you think about your progress and about how this program helped you. So thank you very much for doing this, and let's start with saying something about yourself. Who are you and what you are doing, and then we can talk about other things as well.
Okay, so thank you very much for having me here, first of all. So my name is Nikki. I am living since 10 years in Berlin. I come from Greece, where I studied mechanical engineering. Then at some point I moved in Berlin for finding a job and stuff. And I am mainly working for MEP companies, design companies, mainly for constructing and planning houses, and lately also industries. And I'm working for 4 years now for a German company. We're planning many industries. It's a company where all the disciplines are working together under the same boss, like architects, static engineers, and MEP engineers. So we are working all together. And actually, yes, I started working, I don't remember since how many years ago, I started working with Revit as my design software for design and for my calculations, etc. And that was my first experience with BIM. And anyway, to be honest, at that point, I thought that, and I am still a fan of Revit. And in the first company that I started working, actually, the architects were also working with Revit. So I didn't have any experience with IFC at that time because there was no need, because we were changing just Revit models, both of us. So I knew about IFC, and I knew mainly the bad things, that it's very complicated, that you cannot trust a model that is exported as an IFC file, and it's very difficult to understand. The documentation is very complicated for engineers. It's mainly for software engineers, and also actually there was no need at that time to learn about IFC. Anyway, but then at some point I changed several companies, and I ended up in the company where I'm working now. And yes, of course, as I said before, I started working for the MEP department, and we were receiving architectural models from the architects from the same company. But at that time, the architects were working with Outline. Anyway, I find it, first of all, I find it strange, because I thought, why we are not working all the disciplines with the same software? It would be easier. And to be honest, I even tried to persuade my bosses there that maybe it's better for the company to change the software and blah. But I didn't manage to persuade them. And to be honest, it was difficult also for the employees there, from the colleagues, to change the software, to learn a new software, to learn new habits. And so I said, okay, then I have to deal with IFC. So I started receiving IFC files because we as MEP engineers, we are really depend on the quality of the IFC. First, yeah, I start like learning how to import IFC, like what's the difference between importing or opening IFC. I did everything correct, blah, blah, blah. But still, there was issues. First, the geometry was there. I could see everything, the walls, the columns, like the roof, everything was there. But then we, again, as MEP engineers, we want to use the model to do some calculations. For example, energy analysis, so we need to take some information from the architectural model, like let's say, the names of the walls, or the walls, they have to be assigned as walls. And slowly, I started understanding that there were some problems in the export of the IFC. And then at some point, also, I understood that me as an MEP engineer, I cannot do anything. It should be properly, not only exported properly from Alplan or from wherever, design software, but the objects in Alplan should contain the correct properties. It's our responsibility as MEP engineers to find a solution. And so for me, the solution was like, we cannot use the model to automate somehow our energy analysis if it doesn't contain the proper properties, attributes, either so we don't use it, or we model it in Revit, or we do it manually, like old school, because then we had to really measure the spaces and the walls, which actually that was not my purpose when I arrived in the company, because I was more interested in automating stuff, and using the technology. And the quality of the IFC models that we were receiving, it was really a huge obstacle for me, and I couldn't find a solution. So I had to do it, to find another way. So I thought, first, let's see, what is this IFC? What is this IFC schema? So in the beginning, it was really like a nightmare for me, like to find documentation. Of course, I found the documentation from Building Spark. I start reading this like IFC elements and like the description and stuff, but I was getting frustrated and I didn't have time, because actually I hadn't delivered the energy analysis, and I was stuck by just reading the documentation from the Building Spark, and it was a whole another world for me, to understand this, and maybe eventually to find a solution how to correct the model, etc. And then, anyway, during all this procedure, to understand what is the IFC and find documentation and become familiar with all these terms, I end up to your videos on YouTube with the onboard, actually. With that you were talking these long talks, like 1 hour videos about IFC, where Dion Mould were teaching you what's the meaning of each term, and yeah, I also liked this, that he was insisting, and you were repeating the videos, and and I end up to Blender BIM at that point. And every time in the beginning, of course, I had difficulties to install it. Now, if I remember now, like that, I tried several times to install it, but then again, I couldn't find exactly where it is, exactly the instructions, and I was getting frustrated with the installation, and frustrated, and then I was quitting, and then again I was searching, and then maybe I think at some point I end up to your short videos on YouTube.
Okay.
So I could find, I guess, the information very quick. First, how to install it. And I guess at some point I did install. Not I guess, I did install, I did manage to install Blender BIM and the plugin, first Blender and then plugin. So I opened the IFC model for the first time from there. And the first thing that I found out by myself is that I can change some properties there, like manually. And that was the only possibility that I had to change the properties, because except of Blender BIM, Bonsai now, the only way to edit the properties was in the native software, design software in Outline. But since I didn't have any access to the architectural model from the architects, Bonsai was the only way to put the properties as I wanted to be in order to do energy analysis. In order, anyway, to have a quality to the model so it can be useful for my job. Yeah, and then that was the first time that I understand that it has something unique in comparison with other softwares to edit the IFC model, because everybody was saying that no, you cannot edit the IFC model, you have to export properly, you have to put the properties properly and stuff. And I just realized that no, you can edit it. And again, I was struggling to understand the structure and all the possibilities that you can do with Blender, but again, I couldn't find proper documentation or like a structure videos on YouTube in order to learn about it slowly. To be honest, I also found that this is what I liked a lot, some text from the website of Bonsai, where there was a short explanation of some basic terms from the IFC schema, like what is the IFC type, what is the name, what is the classification. And at that point, I felt really, the first time that I felt that I understand what is the IFC schema and this hierarchy of objects, and because it was very concrete written, the information, it was short texts and not so many like informations that maybe they're more understandable from software engineers. And so I was always being connected with you through social media, LinkedIn or YouTube, because you're always updating and giving information about Bonsai and stuff. But still, before I I started your bootcamp, I couldn't do a lot of things with Bonsai. I had a feeling that I can do more than just changing the name, but I wasn't feeling comfortable, or I wasn't sure what exactly I can do, and if it makes sense to invest some time there, especially if I don't have a concrete information from where to start. So yeah, maybe I think it was summer that you contact me.
Yeah, I think we started to talk in July or something like that. We had the first meeting. I think it's only like half a year since we talked first time, and we had a series of meetings where we discussed. I tried to understand what you try to do, and at that time I was researching. Actually, I was not sure how my bonsai bootcamp is going to look like. And I was researching at that time, talking to more people like you who were struggling to do something. They wanted to do something, and more people had different challenges, but there were some challenges that are overlapping, right? So that's how I decided what I'm going to teach in this bootcamp after talking to many people. But it's worthwhile saying here, Nikki, that you actually are the second founder of this program. So everything you just told us so far is about your reasoning, like how you discovered bonsai and so on and everything, and why the bootcamp became relevant for you. How has been since you have joined? Like it's half a year. I know we are going slowly, but at the same time I still feel that how important it is to know that you have somebody at your side for every challenge you face.
So first of all, it was really a pleasure to me, these live courses, because it's a long time since I'm learning new stuff together with other people, and that was really something important for me I was really expecting our meeting every Thursday, because also because of the other guys and because of you. And every time I remember that I was learning something new, like every time something new, like about the IFC schema. What is the predefined type? What's the classification? I mean, like theoretical stuff, and then every time also new stuff, how to use really Bonsai, to become familiar with the user interface, because it's not that easy. There are a lot of bugs, a lot of shortcuts, and I was always frustrated. But every time, either you were there to give me a solution, or then I was learning also from the other guys, because other guys have other questions, and I was always surprised. Okay, there is also this thing that you can do with Bonsai that I was not aware of it. So it was very like it was always very informative, this meeting. It was always, let's say, Überraschung, sorry. I was very well surprised every time, because I was learning something new. Maybe, yeah, the reason that I came was just to change like some properties on the IFC, but then I realized, first of all, definitely someone can use Bonsai as a design software, especially for the architects. I'm not an architect myself, but now I can see definitely that you can use Bonsai as your main software and for delivering also drawings and everything as you want. And then, yes, and then I also remember that you can do other stuff in Bonsai, such, for example, export quantities, like like in Revit, like I do it in Revit, and sometimes I have to use some other plugins in Revit in order to be efficient. But in Bonsai, we did it also without like special plugins. We just yeah, you show us that there is a way to do quantity export.
Mm-hmm.
So and and yes, as you said, that was also important for me, that I could always come to you if I had a question, if there was something that I was struggling to, I could just simply send you a message on LinkedIn, and then next week we could discuss about this so quick. Because we're not students anymore, we are adults, we're supposed to know everything. But
Nah,
that's not always the
that's not
case,
how it works.
so that was a very nice feeling, that when I was struggling with something,
It's
you could
normal
be
to
there.
struggle. It's normal to struggle, and I'm struggling too, right? And I don't always have an answer. But the
Yeah,
most important is the group, right? Because if I don't know how to do something, there is a very high chance that I can ask somebody else who knows to give me an approximate answer at least, right? So this is the best part, actually. I think, like you said, like, thank you very much for saying that. I also feel the same. I can't wait for these sessions because I enjoy them a lot. And don't talk to the past tense because they are still happening, right? It's not
yeah,
happened before. We are still
yeah,
going through this. Just that right now the program has become a bit more better structured. Like I recorded more videos because before when we started, I did not have any recording, so I started from scratch teaching through the live meetings. Meanwhile, right now we use the meetings most, like I do the recordings in mini courses, and then we are focusing on solving challenges that
yeah,
participants are facing. And I love this, like what you exactly what you said. I'm also learning a lot because each of us, actually there is no one person working the same way like anyone else. So each of us are doing and using bonsai differently, or different features of bonsai, and it's so nice to learn also from how people are using, like you said, use cases that you never thought about. Oh, just because you are there in the right place at the right time, you figure out, wow, that's amazing, I could use that myself, right? So this is extremely powerful. And I think, like, I can definitely say that we have gone over like this like you said, like I don't think this is like a school. This feels like a group, like a family, like a study group where all of us are working for the same purpose. All of us want to become better at openBIM, work more efficient, and learn how to use better this amazing tool, right? And let's not even forget like the other thing. You triggered. I don't know if you are aware about this, but you triggered improvement and creation of many features or icons in Bonsai, even this week. Do you remember the group stuff, the group icons? Like those things, Dion created them yesterday, literally yesterday, because you asked
Yeah.
me if it's not possible, and it was not a direct way to show again quickly only a group of objects after you have hidden them. So he created that yesterday. This is amazing, and this is the power of the group because um, we are also like we contribute a lot to this project because we are using it. We provide a lot of feedback on GitHub and everywhere, and we are also promoting it a lot, right? And also donating money. So it's very nice when you see that the developers they see that okay, these guys are using the tool. Like it will not take me too much time to fix that, and they get help and they promote it even more, right? So I think like but this is the most important. That's what I feel mostly, Nikki, like is the meeting. Although, like I told you, like uh, I wanted for this program to be in a way that anyone will succeed at some point. It doesn't matter if you are going to go quicker. Yeah, some people will succeed quicker, some people later, but at the same time to get something from it no matter what. And that's why I put together these three things. Like I said, like the pre-recorded material, the community where you can ask questions and so on, like you can ask on the go. And if we don't get any answer by the meeting, then the meeting is the most important. I think it's an amazing combination of this, and this just thanks to this amazing platform, which is school.com. Because otherwise, yeah, like I never thought about a platform that has all these things, and when it's so easy to put them, you see the impact. But again, like I'll be honest, like my favorite is the weekly meeting by far. But of course,
Yeah.
it's good to have also the resources like well and structured for like to follow up, like quick, like short courses, right? Like they are on different topics. Like if you want to go to through IDS or how to install Bonsai or how to use Bonsai for a specific thing, how to model in Bonsai, how to do quantity takeoff and this kind of things, is good to have structured information, right? But then through the meetings, the magic is happening, right? Because everyone comes up with so different angles and seeing things so differently. So yeah, like now I should talk less, but yeah, like I'm very happy, as excited as you for the meeting again. Now, because I'm also as a instructor, let's say, because again I don't consider myself an expert, just somebody who has used this tool a bit more than everyone else, but for a specific thing, because I'm also learning from the other instructors as well, which are using it for different purposes, right? But I'm learning every day, like with you. Like I don't consider myself above anyone here. I see everyone as a colleague, as a colleague that we are pushing together the boundaries of openBIM.
Exactly, exactly, and I agree about what you said about this connection with that you have all through the platform with the developers, because we are responsible to give them feedback, about what we need as engineers, and how we want to use this software, so they can do it, they can create it. And about this group, how to set groups. Yes, the reaction was very quick, and I just find out today, to be honest. I just use it, and it's super user friendly. I mean, they did a very good job
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
for.
It's impressive. I've been witnessing this kind of things many times, and it's an amazing thing. It's an advantage when also the tool is so early in alpha stage, because you can impact it so much. If you just use it and provide feedback, people are going to focus and try to help you, especially if it doesn't take so much time. And in that case, the functionality was in there, just a few icons were missing, and Dion put them together, and yeah, there we are. Yeah. So, what is your favorite part of being in this training program?
On being in this
On being
training
in
program.
this program, yeah.
What's my favorite? Um, I think this sense of community that there is, that I feel very comfortable to ask whatever I want, and even if sometimes it seems that I don't have the answer, or maybe you don't have the answer at that time, then the answer comes maybe the next meeting or time. We always try to find a solution all together, and we learn from each other. Yeah, and it feels like a safe space, where we can talk freely. And very important is also that we all have, of course, interest on openBIM, because you don't always find people or other engineers that they have interest on that stuff, because it's quite new. Maybe they think it's not that profitable, or I don't know, or it's very complicated, or they think that it will never be applied properly in our sector. Who knows? But it feels like it feels good when you don't feel alone,
Yeah, I
that you're
completely
the only
agree.
one who struggles with that stuff, or you that I find that stuff interesting and useful for our sector. There are other people that they're thinking the same way, and it's important to talk to each other, and yeah,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
I agree.
to be connected, to be
Yeah,
connected.
yeah. Again, I think this is the greatest part, and that's the reason why I always like to build communities. To surround myself with people who have the same goal. And yeah, it's very giving and fulfilling for me. Um,
Yes, for me too. For me too. I tell you, and that I was always looking forward for our meeting. It, for the obvious reasons that I learned stuff that make my life in my job like much
easier,
easier.
eh?
But yeah, also to meet with people that they have common interests with you. It's also
Yeah.
nice.
To see, like, for me, it's very cool to see how everyone is making progress, how they are getting closer to what they want to do. And not only that, because in the beginning, everyone had a goal, like have that fixed goal, right? But after many meetings, you realize that, oh, okay, this goal is a moving target. I want to learn so many more things, right? But everything like at the right time.
Yeah.
Focus should be on the things that you can benefit the most as soon as possible. I always say that. Yeah.
And also watching my progress myself, that also something that make me feel good, because if I remember now how I struggled, and it's not, I mean, the progress was quite quick, I could say, through the bootcamp, because of the bootcamp, because I remember how much I was struggling just to install Blender, yeah, Bonsai, and you were always insisting, did you update? Did you update?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now I am always updating,
yeah.
and
That's good.
now I'm very, like, I feel very comfortable, like validating an IFC model. I'm feeling very like I can find the mistake very quick, or using IDS, I can do it very quick. And now slowly I'm trying to become more comfortable with not designing, but maybe
Just
adjusting some
things, yeah.
small mistakes in the geometry
Uh-huh.
of the model. Again, to make, I don't want to, of course, to change the architectural model.
No,
Just to
no, no.
make
For your
to make
purpose, to make your
to
to
make to
achieve
make
your, yeah,
to
yeah.
make myself to make my job easier.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I would say. I always people are confusing when I say that bonsai it's IFC native and you can modify and so on. Because yeah, ideally you don't want to do that, but there are situations where you actually have to do that, and your situation is one of those situations, like many others, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. Like, of course, ideally you want the model to be exported, but there are so many barriers for that. Like, you have to have the right person who is willing to learn how to do that. If not, then you are in a problem, right? And you are wasting a lot of time having to work more manually, right? So yeah.
Exactly,
Mm,
exactly. And if I can find a solution very quick with
yeah,
bonsai, I mean, why not?
yeah, exactly.
And then it helps, it helps also to minimize the conflicts often between the disciplines. Yes, because okay, maybe sometimes there are some missing attributes, or there are some misclassified objects, as we have discussed. Like often we receive architectural models where
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, columns are classified as walls, but it was an obvious mistake. It was a mistake. And
Mm-hmm.
then if I can do it very quick, just by myself with Bonsai, I don't have to bother the
Other people,
architects,
yeah, yeah. I
other
makes
people, or
perfect
then to
sense.
wait for a model to come back
Mm-hmm.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. That's perfectly put,
So
Nikki.
yeah, I think yeah, it's a it can sorry,
It's okay.
it can minimize, eliminate, help also the communication between not the communication, the issues among the disciplines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know,
definitely, definitely. So what would you say that would be that was your biggest win since you have joined?
my biggest win.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean,
It could be the very thing that you just said that you managed to do to this workflow that you were struggling with before. But I don't know, maybe something else.
yeah, I don't know. I think my understanding with openBIM. I think it's my biggest win, considering yeah, what I have learned from the bootcamp. My understanding, because again, Bonsai helped me to understand, to comprehend the IFC schema, because I have tried also with other IFC viewers, but I don't know, the structure, it was not so clear to me. But with Bonsai, I feel better, and I understand better the purpose also of the IFC schema, and it doesn't look at all scary
Like
for
before.
me
Yeah, yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah.
like before.
Mm-hmm. I
And
understand.
I have a really good, like uh, understanding now, and I think I can go even more further if I want to I don't know, to exercise more my skills about this
Mm-hmm. Okay,
being IFC. Yeah.
that's great. That's great to hear, Nikki.
No,
Um,
really, really, yeah. It really gave me another uh, understanding, another maybe how to continue also my career. I don't know, like maybe I could be even more concentrated to this direction, because I can
mhm.
see that there is a gap, I could say, in our sector, and not many people. Some people, they think that they understand it, but they don't really understand it very well. They have a really superficial knowledge of it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
and,
definitely, definitely.
I have a really good, yeah, understanding now.
That's great. That's great to hear. Would you say that would you have used a bit more time to get here and to learn the things that you learn if you because you decided to join? Are there any things that you believe that you learned just because you joined here and you would have not learned on your own maybe in a longer time?
Definitely, I wouldn't have learned by myself. I would have quit.
Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
Not, I have quit. Not, I mean, definitely,
So
because
you were very close to quitting actually using IFC.
no, I go, yes, before the bootcamp. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not quitting, but I
Not
was like,
using, yeah, yeah, like still not
like,
believing in what it has to offer.
no, yeah, exactly, exactly. I was thinking that maybe, yeah, it's so complicated that it's meaningless to stay and trying on this, And at the end of the day, I would also say at that time, okay, let's all use one software,
Yeah.
Let's all use Revit.
Yeah.
But what else? I was wrong at that time. Now I understand that I was wrong because at the end of the day, everybody should use whatever software wants to or feels familiar to. Is it Alplan? Is it Archicad? Is it Revit?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's why then there is the IFC that connect
Connects
us
everything together. Yeah.
together, and even more Bonsai,
Yeah.
But that's why I like so much Bonsai too also, because it's somehow like there were some missing pieces in the puzzle, and with Bonsai you can just
Yeah. You level
find
the
them.
field. Yeah. You,
Yeah,
you you do exactly like that's exactly what I say. One thing that people don't understand is that bonsai can be useful for anyone working with BIM and with IFC. If you have to use IFC, it doesn't matter if you are a BIM modeler, a BIM coordinator, BIM manager, whatever you are, you can still use bonsai for something. I'm
yeah,
sure about that, and it's going to help you because of the user interface because it emulates the IFC schema to understand it, right? You remember we had a discussion about the like once about like how easy it's to understand how things are hanging together in IFC because we are using in the bonsai interface. Meanwhile, when using other tool, you are confused and you cannot like you don't know where the things are coming from. You remember that we discussed once about this.
yes, 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 yes. Because I tried also. Anyway, I tried Solibri also, and
Which
I
is a
wasn't
great
sure.
tool. It's a great tool,
It
but
is
a
yeah,
commercial
yeah, it is
tool, of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But because then I was trying to open it to view an IFC model in Solibri, and then at the same time I was reading the documentation from Building Smarts,
Yeah.
and somehow I was not sure which is what. I couldn't really connect these two things. But with Bonsai, in Bonsai you can find directly the terms that they come from IFC schema.
Yeah.
And I think Solibri somehow translates it, or you have to. There are a lot of stuff. Some of them, a lot of attributes there that some of them they're copied from the IFC schema. I don't know how exactly it
It's a
works.
mix. It's a mix. Yeah, we cannot know because you don't have access to the code. You
Exactly.
don't know how it works behind, and yeah, you are limited to that. But you are mirroring. You have mirrored exactly my feelings because that's also why I became a very advanced expert in Solibri because I could not accept one thing. I could not accept working with IFC without understanding how IFC works. And that's why I
Yeah.
always, although I was like you in the same situation, I almost gave up and I smashed IFC a lot before and so on. And I gave up many times in using Bonsai. I always came back for one reason. And that's the reason which kept me using Bonsai again and again until I started to use it even more and until it became a crucial tool in my workflows. And that's the user interface. Because when I was going to Bonsai, I was knowing where the data is coming from, which is, and then you know what? Maybe something you don't realize that then you know what you have to fix in Revit because that's the disconnect with Solibri. If you don't know where that information necessarily is coming from, it might be difficult for you to fix it in your authoring tool, right? So there
Also,
is also this, yeah. Mm.
also correct. Also correct. You're
Yeah.
right. No, no, definitely Bonsai help me understand IFC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
IFC
so
schema.
amazing. What are your plans for the future with Bonsai? IDS is still an area you did not dive too deep so far, right? But it's
No,
something
no,
something
no.
that at some point maybe becomes more relevant when you have to maybe to validate more models and so on.
Yeah. I want to become even more familiar with, as I said before, adjusting the geometry.
Okay,
And
so modifying, adjusting,
yes,
fixing geometry.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's great.
And I don't know if I know that in Bonsai you can also draw pipes and everything and ducts. I don't know. Maybe in the future I try also. to
Yeah,
use it for what purpose? I don't know.
why not?
Maybe
Why not?
if you make another bootcamp, you
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, no, no. But actually, to be honest, like I think for MEP, actually, unfortunately, the tools are a bit underdeveloped, but they will get
Mhm.
better. And but it's possible to model pipes and so on. So of course, we are going to have some content about that at some point. So don't worry. Um, we are going to showcase at least how you can do it, and then you use your expertise from your domain to do it
Yeah.
properly. But how to use the tool itself, we are going to cover that at some point, of course, no doubt. The focus is still for architecture, structural, and so on because it's more people using it. But you are going to see how it's possible. And now because you told me, like you remember that always, like you just have to tell me, and then I set it on the priority list. And then
Yeah.
I put together a workshop or something with Dion or somebody else who has used this before, and you get a starting point, right? Yeah. So
Um,
what do you think about this? Was this a good investment for you? Would you make again this investment if you would know what you know now about the bootcamp? Would you think more about the investment or would you invest with closed eyes?
no, no, I don't. I don't regret it at all. Definitely, and of course, because I learned a lot of things. We create this community, and that I guess that it's gonna stay somehow, like also for the next, I don't know
That's
for
the
how
best
much.
part. That's the best part, because this
Yeah,
journey just started, Nikki, and the lifetime access to this, as
and
long as I'm running this program, this is going to be just you are
and
just going to grow, like, and me as well. Like everyone is just going to get more and more training is going to be added, is going to be
yeah.
updated, improved. Bonsai is going to evolve, of course, and so on. So
And I think that I will try also to be more involved with what you are doing, that you're talking to the developers, if there is like a bug
with
or
feedback, yeah, that's part of,
let's
like, I
create
plan to
this,
push you to
this,
do more of that in the future.
this
Yeah.
button, because this is really amazing, like you have a wish and then they do it. And you feel also good because you're participating, to the evolve of software or something. You feel also that you participate.
Yeah. You participate. Like, look, like, even if you did not report this issue yourself or this feature request yourself, I did it because of you. If you were not telling me that, so for me, it took me 1 minute to write the issue on GitHub, so it's fine. Of course, I have a tutorial about that. You have to find it somewhere, and I want everyone to learn how to use it and so on. But it's still very important. The fact that you are saying that something is missing, because then, like this time I did it. But yeah, of course, in the future, more than welcome to start creating your own issues, and that's not the problem. Like I said, it takes 1 or 2 minutes. Just add an image, add the description, and everything starts there. The discussion can develop from there. Yeah.
Yes, but yes, I would definitely do it again. I would definitely recommend it to friends, or I post it even on LinkedIn. Maybe um, some people find it also useful, but I would definitely do it because I would. I think I would never be in that position now without the bootcamp. You know.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Um, I would, as I told you, be so frustrated that I would have thought no, because there are no other sources. There are no
Yeah.
other sources. This is the only way to go so deep um,
Yeah.
with
And
Bonsai. And the
this
fact
is
that it is open source, it's yeah, you invest some money just for the courses, but then you can just install it, use it whenever you want, play with it, spend as much time as you want with it.
yeah, like, look, I think.
Recommend it to your colleagues, because sometimes, with Solibri and stuff, maybe there is only one license and it's covered from a colleague, and then you have to wait, blah. But Bonsai is open source, so you have to invest only on learning. that you don't
Yeah.
have to buy it.
Exactly. Like you can even learn it on your own, of course, but then you have to spend more time. And if you have that time, then it's fine. Not everyone should join the bootcamp, but who wants
Definitely.
to save time and also be exposed to this amazing community, because this is something that is not so easy to replicate. To find the network of people that is here is not so easy. Then yeah, but again, like everyone can use it. The tool is available for everyone, right? So that's the best part actually.
And I tell you that we have, I think maybe we have forget a bit that how is it to learn together with other people, because as adults we don't do it that often, it's a nice feeling, because it feels you struggle, you're sharing your struggle with other people, learn from
Mhm.
each other. It feels good.
Yeah, it helps a lot when you know that there are more people that are struggling with same thing and brainstorming together to find a solution. And like that's the power of masterminds. Like if you put two or three people together, is not like there are only three people together, like three minds. Is like exponentially growth when you add the third mind
Mhm.
into a group. When you have at least three people in a room and you start exchanging ideas, the impact is exponential. It's not just like a three person, because many concepts are being created which have been impossible to be created just in a one-on-one conversation or just in one mind conversation thinking about one thing. And the more people you add to this conversation, like that's the more exponentially it grows, and the impact is more and more. And but this is the most like feeling that you belong to this, right? And this is the change that I always dreamed about. Like that's exactly everything you told me today is what I dreamed about, like I wanted to do, and that's what I plan to deliver and help everyone to feel. um, and yeah, some of them are closer, some of them are even further, and some of them will be there at some point. Yeah. So yeah, Nikki, I think I took enough of your time. I really appreciate you telling your story. Um, and I'm really looking forward to how we are going to grow from here. Not how I or you, we, okay? Because this is amazing part, right? You are from Germany. Actually, very interesting. There are two students from Germany, but then we have people from where? From Norway. We have people from Switzerland. We have people from Hong Kong. We have people from all over the world. This is the amazing part, right? Because and it's a mix. I'm also happy that it's not only you, the only lady in this group, and I hope I will find more ladies willing to join, because I would like to have a balance. Like openBIM, it's open for everyone, not just for nerds, for guys or something like that. Definitely that's not what I believe, and you are a pure example of that, right? Because like you say, like you are not like very like technical or something like that, and you saw this scary, like everything you described, it was also how I felt. This was
Mm.
also all my my entire feeling journey since I started. It's a complex topic, and you cannot make it without support, or you can make it, but it's going to be so painful. And I
Yeah.
did it just because of people like Dion Molt, Vukas Pajic, Thomas Kreinen, and many others. Sorry if I forgot your name. I did not get your name to say it right now, but yeah, like there are many of you I talk to on LinkedIn and so on, but this requires a lot of time. It's so much easier when it's already the setup prepared and you just jump in and you are bombarded with ideas, right? Thank you so much, Nikki, for sharing your story. I really appreciate you, and I can't wait for
You're
our next
welcome.
session.
You're welcome. Thanks for the bootcamp that you're organizing everything, and you support us. Yeah, and I hope that it will help with your future, like yeah,
I'm
find more
sure more
students.
people are going to be inspired by this. I'm
I
sure.
hope.
So
Yeah,
thank you very much.
you're welcome.
So if you want to work more effective with IFC, master IFC schema, and integrate Bonsai into your workflows, maybe you would like to join Bonsai Bootcamp. Send me a message to petru@BIMvoice.com and I'll try to help you out. Otherwise, you can also contact me on LinkedIn. Send me a message, I'm very active there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. See you around.